I used to have this job that I hated, and it hated me back. They did not pay me enough money because there wasn't enough money in the budget, you know. And so if they weren't going to pay me more, I figured I would do less. And I was sitting around in a meeting one day and I was thinking, how do I do the least amount of work? And then it dawned on me, I'm not doing any work right now. I should just get in more meetings. Because like when you're in a meeting, you're getting credit for being at work. Your boss can see you. If you're not working, like I'm over there playing Tetris, right? I'm not doing anything. So I got in meetings all day. I was in meetings from 9 to 5. People were trying to assign me work, and I'd be like, sorry, I'm booked. If I didn't have a meeting, I would wander around the office and try and get into a pickup meeting. I'd be like, what are you guys doing in here? Are y'all meeting? I have ideas. The thing about a meeting is that they're kind of hard to get into. So once you're in a meeting, right, like what I would do is one thing on my agenda was to make sure that we had another meeting. So I would do things like, I would show up to the meeting early and I would move chairs out of the meeting room so that then we would have to go find chairs. I would unplug the HDMI a little bit. So then we gotta put in a ticket and get IT in here. And then they have to have a little meeting inside of our meeting. You know? And that's always the last thing they check, right? I put an American flag in every conference room, and then at the beginning of the meeting I would say, we should say the pledge. You can't say no, right? I know that you know it too. You know, one day I was wandering around and I thought that I had stumbled into a meeting, but it was actually a committee. I think I like committees more than I like meetings. Because a committee is a meeting that went pro. It has the major league meters in there, and they all have very particular jobs. There's the chair, there's the treasurer, there's the secretary. I like the secretary the most because the secretary writes down everything everybody says, and then at the next committee meeting reads it back. How did I not think of this? What a great way to waste time. And how about that? The thing that wastes time, they call minutes. I wish it was called hours, right? The other thing about a committee is that once you're on a committee, you're on it for life. Like, you could die on the committee. No one's gonna kick you off the committee. I was on 17 meetings a week, and I was in 13 monthly committee meetings for a total of 20 meetings. I was doing no work. And I was really like messing up these meetings and committees. I was doing such a good job, they would run over and they would mess up meetings and committees I wasn't even in. And then my boss called me in his office for a one-on-one meeting. That's always bad. And he goes, Jack, we gotta talk about your meetings. And I was like, oh no. He goes, you're doing a great job. We're gonna send you to a conference. A conference is where all of the best meters from around the country go and meet together. They go to briefings that are hours long. It is a destination meeting. All expenses paid. During the day, you eat and you meet, and at night, you drink and you cheat. I came back from the conference with a whole bunch of new ideas, And then Fred, I have this coworker, Fred, and Fred likes to do even less work than I do. He likes to virtue signal. He's very bad at it. What Fred would do is Fred would send you an email, print an email, and then show up at your office with the email. You're too obvious, Fred. You're too obvious. So one time at a staff meeting, Fred stands up and he's like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we're really not getting a lot done around here. I think it's the meetings. And I stood up and I was like, I agree with you, Fred, we should investigate. I'm happy to form a task force. So, I formed a task force. Now, a task force is it is a meeting with a task with force, you know? There's direction with a task force. Task force also has all of the leaders from all of the other meetings and committees in the company. You want to make sure nothing happens in the meeting, get 20 leaders in a room. Nothing will happen. This was also the most expensive employees. Okay, the 20 most expensive employees by salary, right? Every time we met, it cost the company $12,000. Okay. And after 2 years and 100 free lunches, this task force produced nothing. It's very proud. Thank you. And then my boss called me in his office, and I was like, oh no. He's like, Jack, I heard you did a great job with the task force. That raise and promotion you wanted, we're gonna give you. So now I got to lead my own meetings. It was great. It was great. Until Fred showed up. Fred snuck into my meeting, and one time he sent around an email that was just 5 paragraphs, and it had a bunch of questions in it, and people were responding, and I was absolutely furious. And I was just thinking, man, this email could have been a meeting. So to recap, I was at a company that did not pay me enough money. And so I started doing no work. I started getting everyone else in the company to do no work. I got a all expenses paid trip to Hawaii. I convinced the company to have a 2-year-long meeting on meetings, spend $1.2 million, and produce absolutely nothing. And then I got a raise and a promotion. I love capitalism, guys. That's what we do.